How's it going, everybody? Adam here from Maple Monkey Media. So glad you could take some time out of your day to stop by, see what's happening here at the channel. We're into the kitchen here. It's kind of going to be a little hybrid cooking video, cooking from the garden. We have 8 pounds of cucumbers here that we're going to turn into 2 varieties of pickles. We're going to do a bread and butter, and we're going to do some dill pickles. First things off, though, we're going to get the pickles all washed up, and we're going to get on to the next step after that. All right, so here's our bags of pickles. We have 4 pounds ready for dills. We have 4 pounds that will be ready for bread and butter. We have our assorted spices here. We have some dill right here. This is some dill seed. This is celery seed, I believe. And then this is canning spices. So let's get these pickles dumped in the sink and let's get them all cleaned up. All right, y'all, I just wanted to give this little heads up here. So these spices that I just showed you there's 4 packs of spices. So my partner was checking for some pickling spice, and about even less pickling spice than this. It was about $7. So if we're looking on to the receipt from the bulk barn here, we're going to look at the pickling spice. And you see that we got it for 79 cents. So all 4 of these spices only cost $2.53, when as opposed to everything in here, literally we were looking and it probably would have been $15 to $25 for 4 of those spices. So if you have a bulk barn in your area, definitely hit it up for cheap spices. Okay, first bag of pickles, let's get it washed up. So you see, these are the size of the pickles that we have here. So we'll get them all cleaned up, and then we're gonna get ready to put them in a saltwater ice bath brine. There we go. So that's 8 pounds of pickles there. Or well, 8 pounds of cucumbers. It's gonna be 8 pounds of pickles soon. All right, so we have our cucumbers. I keep wanting to call them pickles, but they're not pickles yet. We have our cucumbers all cleaned up. We have our pot here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing some salt, and we're going to be putting into here cucumbers into pot, water into pot, and for every 4 cups of water we're going to do 2 tablespoons of salt. First 4 cups right here. So there's another 4 cups. So that is 12 cups so far. There's another 4. All right, the next order of business is we have 16 cups of water in there, so that's 8 tablespoons of salt. So what we're going to be using this just regular Windsor table salt. So we'll get 8 tablespoons into there, and then we'll chuck our pickles in, we'll chuck our ice cubes in, and the process of this is because the salt draws the last little bit of moisture out of the pickles, and the cold ice bath is going to make them crunchy for when we're canning them. Barely fits. All right, so we're going to add our ice in here into the pot. Alrighty, y'all. Well, there we go. We have our cucumbers and our saltwater ice bath brine. Like I say, the purpose of this is the salt's going to draw the last little bit of moisture out of the pickles, and with the cold water, it's going to make them apparently crunchy when we're going to be canning them. So we're going to let this sit anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. So we'll see in 3 to 5 hours. Alrighty, y'all. Well, it's been about 4 hours where we're letting our cucumbers soak in our ice water salt brine bath. So the pickles are looking absolutely wonderful, as you can see in there. We're going to get on to our next batch of action. I have all of the stuff that we need. So here we have all of our canning utensils. We have dill weed, mustard seed, bay leaves. This is pickling spice, pickling salt, sugar, 5 cloves of garlic, some more canning stuff. I don't have any cheesecloth, but we're going to use this instead. We have some apple cider vinegar here, and we have our jars, and we have our stuff that we're going to put our pickles in. So this particular recipe is calling for 13.5 cups of sliced cucumbers. So I figure that should be around 4 pounds. So I have one batch of 4 pounds for these dill pickles, and then we have another 4 pounds for some bread and butter pickles that we're going to do right after this as well. So here's all of our cucumber soon-to-be pickles. So first order business, put it on cold water, and we'll just get that excess salt that was in our brine just washed off. So we'll give them a quick little rinsey-poo there. Well, that should be good. Next step, we're going to bring them over here to the chopping block, and we're going to cut the ends off, and we're going to cut them into 1/4-inch slices going down the pickle. Actually, I lied. The next step we're going to do is we're going to get the container that we're using for the water bath. We're going to get the cans in it, the jars in it. We're going to fill them up with water, so it's about 1 inch over the top of the jars. We're going to set that on the stove, and we're going to get that to a slow boil just to get all the bacteria and everything killed. And then that way we're ready to get canning with that. And then after that, we're going to come back and we'll start chopping up our cucumbers for our pickles. So here are 5 quart jars that we're going to be using. So we'll just take the tops off, and we'll put them in here. Unfortunately, this pot can only do 4 at a time, so we'll have to do a single one with that leftover for number 5. Oh, maybe no. No, I lied. We can fit in 5. Look at that. Beautiful. So there's our 5 jars in there. 5 jars fit nice and snugly in there. So our next step is we'll bring it over here, and we'll fill it all up with water. So we'll do that here, fill it all up, make sure everything is in the cans, and like I say, we'll make sure that there's 1 inch over the top, and then we'll put it right back onto the stove and we'll get it to boiling. Okay, now we're on to the next process. We're going to get our cucumbers, and we're going to cut the ends off, and then we're going to cut them in 1/4-inch pieces. Cut the ends off, 1/4-inch pieces. I'm going to get another cutting board, 1/4-inch pieces. Cut the ends off. Don't swallow it out. So did you cut the blossoms off? Yeah, we'll cut those off, and then we'll use the yeah, perfect. All right. Can I for myself?
Are you recording?
Oh yeah. We're recording. Alrighty then, so this is approximately 13.5 cups of pickles. We have this stuff over here, so hopefully this is around 4 pounds of pickles for our bread and butter batch. So this is good. We have our jars over here starting to come to a simmer to decontaminate and clean those up. What we're going to be doing next is, since we don't have cheesecloth, we're going to be using this, and we're going to be grabbing our pickling spices here. So we're going to need 3 tablespoons of pickling spice, and then we're going to put it in here tied up. We're going to use that as kind of a spice packet to infuse the water that we're going to be using in the cans, in the jars for our pickles. Alright, so this is our pickling spice mix that we get from the bulk barn. Like I said earlier, if you're looking for spices, bulk barn is the way to go, because we were looking at pickling spice and it was probably half of this, and it was $5. Like I say, I got this for 73 cents. So what we're going to be doing is we're doing 3 tablespoons of the pickling spice, if I can get it open. And what we'll do is we'll just put it right in the middle here. So there's 1, 2, and there's 3. Have some twine here. Cut a piece of that off. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be just creating a little infusion package right here. There's the string, and we'll just kind of tie the string on a couple times, wrap it around, make sure it's nice and tight. There we go. So here's our infusion package with what we're going to be doing next. So the next order of business is grab a porcelain or stainless steel pot. We have a porcelain here. The recipe recommends for stainless steel or porcelain. So that's what we have there. And then we're going to mix our spices and our sugars in this. Okay, so let's see what the recipe is calling for here. So it says combine the vinegar, water, sugar, pickling salt, and pickling spice packet into a large stainless steel or porcelain coated saucepan, and then bring to a boil over medium-high heat. Stir well to dissolve salt and sugar together. Perfect. So that's what we're going to do now. So here's our salt package. We'll just set him aside right now. We're going to do 4 cups of apple cider and 4 cups of water. So there's Next, we're going to be adding in the sugar. So we're going to do 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, a little bit more. So there we are, 3/4 cup. Put that in. Boom. Next, we're going to be doing our pickling salt. So we'll do a 1/2 cup of pickling salt. There's that. Pickling salt right here. There's our 1/2 cup of pickling salt. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put our spice packet, our spice infusion. Drop that right in there. Alrighty, so here's our concoction. Here's our spice pack right here. So we're going to bring this over to the burner, and we're going to get that to a boil, slow rolling boil. All right, we're going to bring our concoction over here, over to the stove, and then we're going to get it to a nice slow rolling boil. We're going to do this because we want to get the sugars and the salt dissolved, and we want the spices to be infused into our concoction that we just made. All right, so we got her on the stove. We got her on medium to high heat. The jars over here, they're steaming, so they're nice and clean, not contaminated. So we're going to bring our concoction up to a boil, and then after that we're gonna lower it down to medium to low heat and simmer it for about 15 minutes, or until all of the spice infusion is into our concoction. Just gonna do a little bit of cleaning up. We're gonna get our spices and everything ready, the garlic and everything that we're gonna be putting into the jars. We have our cucumbers there, the rest of the spices over here. So in about 15 minutes I'll see you guys, and we'll start filling up the jars with our spices. All right, So we're just getting the concoction boiling. So we'll turn that down to a medium to low heat. All right, so we have our 5 jars. And next thing we're going to do is we're just going to get everything into the jars and get ready to get the cucumbers turned into pickles. So we're going to do 1 full bay leaf in each of the jars. There's the 1 full bay leaf. We have our garlic, so we're going to pop a clove into each. Next, we have our mustard seed. It's calling for a 1/2 teaspoon of mustard seed. 1/2 teaspoon. There's that. Now it's calling for 1 head of dill. Now I couldn't find any fresh dill, but they say a substitute. I have dill wheat here, and it's about a quarter teaspoon for each jar. Okay, well the jars are still a little bit warm. We're going to just pack them into the jars, leaving about a 1/2 inch of headspace. Well, the recipe called for 13.5 cups for 5 pint jars. That's obviously not right because we still have some left over. So depending how much of this concoction we have, I may have to get some more jars added in. But we got another maybe almost 10 minutes. Go and let that simmer, and then we'll fill it up in here, and we'll put them back into the water bath canner after that for about 15 minutes. Hey Max, what are you doing, bud? Being a good boy? Oh yeah, being a good boy. Oh, bless you. Oh, there, sir. No scraps. Ain't no scraps. Okay, here, you can have one. Here you go. You wanna... Wait. Wait. You wait. Okay, go. Good boy. Good boy. Alrighty then, our pickle juice concoction is all good to go. It's been simmering for about 20 minutes. So we're gonna head that over here. We're gonna set it on our heating pads there, and then we're gonna start ladling it in to our mix. We're gonna start ladling it into our cucumbers. Well, there we have it. We're good there. We're just going to take our little stick here, and we're just going to give them a couple pokes to get rid of any air bubbles that are on the inside there. That's done. And we got to, this is probably one of the most important parts, is we have to clean the tops of the jars here, just so they get a nice seal. Okay, now we're gonna put on our bands, just hand tight. Okay, so there we go. We have our jars all good to go. Hand tight lids, bingo bango bongo. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to bring these over. We're going to put them back into the water bath here, and we're going to process them for about 15 minutes. Just like that, they're back into the water bath for about, we're gonna bring that up to a boil. And then once it gets to a boil, we're gonna drop the temperature back down and let it simmer and cook for about 15 minutes. Just getting up to a boil now in the water bath canner. So another 15 minutes and I'll pull those out. And we got that one last jar here that was with the leftovers there that we managed to get. So we filled up one more jar. So that's not too bad at all. 6 jars of the dill pickles. And we're gonna see how many jars of the bread and butter we're gonna have. So super exciting. First time canning pickles. First time making bread and butter pickles. First time making dill pickles. But you know, that's the way that the cookie crumbles when you want to go and live a self-reliance and self-sustainable life. So this is the start to many, many great things in the up and coming weeks, months, and years ahead. So there, we're going to let that boil. We're gonna, once it comes up to a boil, we'll let it keep on going for about 15 minutes. And then the first batch of dill pickles is in the books. Woo! Awesome stuff. So this is gonna be me, Adam, signing off here at Maple Monkey Media, back here in the kitchen, kind of cooking from the garden, episode number 2. I'm gonna get on with making some bread and butter pickles here. Not sure if I'm gonna do a video of it, but I muchly appreciate y'all popping by the channel and seeing what's happening anyways. God bless, and we'll see y'all next time back here at Maple Monkey Media. Adam signing off. What do I always say? Keep that stick on the ice. There is no failure if you just keep on going, so just keep on going. Cheers, y'all. Woo, 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 woo. Until next time, God bless.